Thank you, everybody, for joining us at Tilli. My name is Shabbir Gilani. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer for the organization. I have here with me Shahid Husain, who's the Chief Operating Officer for the organization, and Rinki, who is the Head of Marketing for the Tilli organization. Today, we will be presenting for 30 minutes an overview of the digital transformation in the area of budget cuts, walk through a high-level overview of who Tilli is, the services and solutions that we provide to market, and then go into some of the initiatives that we've started from a management consulting perspective, and then some use cases that Shahid will then take over. And then we'll leave it at the end for about a few minutes, 5 minutes for Q&A. So Shahid, if you'd like to go to the next slide, please. So Tilli has been around since 2014. Its origins started as a management consulting practice focused around utilities industry within the digital communications, electronic bill presentment, and payments segment. And through the experience and subject matter expertise that we've had throughout the years, Tilli has now evolved into continuing to build out its management consulting practice, which we'll get into a little bit later in this session, but also building technology and software. As part of the technology builds, our subject matter expertise during these engagements found gaps with either an internally built solutions or leveraging other third parties at the time, and build tech specifically around next generation technologies to kind of fill those gaps, and now go to market with electronic bill presentment, digital customer communications offerings that we work with billers across multiple industry segments. So utilities, government, financial institutions, media, communications, telecommunications, insurance industries. So covering multiple billers that have touch points with customers to facilitate bill payments, in addition to leveraging our digital communication solutions and payments processing for other mechanisms as well. Shahid, next slide, please. So the certification awards, and I won't spend too much time here, but we are a minority-owned business within the state of Maryland. We are headquartered in McLean, Virginia. We do have offices in India as well. So we leverage, our expertise onshore as well as offshore from a consulting practice as well as from a technology offering as well. We are SAP certified integrated partner. We are working to get our Oracle integration partnership in place. We also are part of an SAP co-innovations initiatives tying into the SAP store as a mechanism to offer our solution through the SAP ecosystem. So that's part of the initiatives, and Oracle we're also working on. There are other engagements in regards to different ERP integrations, leveraging our API adapters called XDEX, which we can tie into multiple ERPs, CRM solutions, any type of system or record, including core banking systems when it comes to an FI. Those interconnectivities and those pipes that we build have the ability to pull in and pull out real-time data feeds. We have won a number of awards, some specifically around the municipality government entity areas. We are SOC 2 compliant, PCI DSS compliant as well. Shahid, next slide, please. These are some of our existing clients. Washington Gas locally into the DC metro area, Howard County, Maryland, and some of the other organizations that we've worked in collaboration on a consulting practice as well as technology offerings. And again, as I kind of alluded to the fact of the different products that we offer, which Shahid will kind of cover, right? We work around engaging our customers on multiple types of projects that they bring us into. But at the same time, they leverage our technology to help improve bill payment processing, help improve customer experience. So this list kind of shows a mix between the consulting practice and technologies that we offer to our existing customers. Shahid, next slide, please. So these are some of our partners that we have established. Fiserv, SAP, we've mentioned Microsoft, Oracle, Till Payments, um, which has been acquired recently, Swift, PCI, DSS Compliancy, Pathword, which is our acquiring bank, Amazon Web Services. Keep in mind that majority of our technology does sit on AWS. So we are cloud enabled, but we are also agnostic across multiple cloud offerings in addition to AWS. But the critical piece here is that the partnerships which we've brought to the table help us from a initial to end flows when it comes to payments, when it comes to deployment, when it comes to infrastructure, and when it comes to leveraging the different system of records that we tie into for real-time data feeds. So all of those are very selective during our channel partnership program, which ties into the different value partners that we have. And we are expanding this list to other partners as well. And we're happy to have those conversations with additional partners globally on where we could leverage that relationship as long as there's a value add across the joint effort. Shahid, next slide, please.
Okay.
So I'll just Shahid, I'll just kind of cover some of this, and I'll hand this off to you.
Thank you.
So as I mentioned, the origins of management consulting is the subject matter expertise, and again, I'm just kind of creating a high level. Shahid will go into some of the details on this slide. But the way we've evolved, and especially because of working with our existing customers and creating the different technologies, keep in mind the product suite on the right side. The critical piece that I want to kind of outline is that because of the expertise that we've brought in, and during the several years that we built this technology, it was as a result of the gaps in the existing client base that we were working. However, now that we've started to work with our partners, being pulled into a lot of the channel partnership programs, SAP and Oracle are very interested in leveraging our tech to their existing customers. That's why we're part of their ISV ecosystem or the SAP store, is because we have a roadmap based on the inputs not only now from the existing customer base, but market trends that are happening, right? What we're starting to hear with new prospects and the demands and requirements that they have. And we've started to build and enhance the technologies on the right side to kind of fit those trends, those requirements, and also working with our existing customers. So I wanted to kind of point that out because we are continuously evolving not only our consulting practice, but also the technologies based on those inputs that we get from those segments of the market. Shahid, over to you.
Thanks, Shabbir. Thanks, everyone, for joining this call. Really appreciate everybody joining in. So, a warm welcome anywhere you are in the world. Again, I just want to again outline what Shabbir was talking about, that we are at the core management consultants. We all have experience with the Fortune 5, the Fortune 3 consulting companies. We've worked with them, we've closely understood their best practices. Even now from a project point of view, we work very closely with them. Our area or domain expertise is mainly in utilities, public sector, retail, and insurance. But I want to also extend that we are very importantly pricing experts in some sense, and also billing experts, right? So whenever it comes to bill presentment, any integration directly with any enterprise resource planning software at the organization level, we understand those integration points, and we can help you build those integration points very quickly and in a very time efficient manner. Specifically, we've had in the past, we've built integrations around S4. We've done integrations with Salesforce, talking to SAP. We've done it with Oracle CCNB and CIS products. We've worked very closely with even SQL database and other CRM related native applications on the front end. Essentially, we have understood that from a consulting perspective, any ERP support system would obviously require additional tool sets to work through the customer support scenario, and any customer support scenario, whether you're talking about call center, whether you are talking about automation, or you're really discussing escalations on maybe some of your service lines are very busy with existing help desk tickets, right, that you're trying to solve after a go live or a production support, right? So from a management consulting, we moved on or graduated to the product suite by seeing a dire need in the environment, right? So our clients themselves basically guided us or helped us build some of these solutions. And obviously, now that these solutions have been built, we have partnered with, again, Shabir was mentioning Fiserv, we partnered with SAP, we partnered with, we are looking to partner with Oracle to build upon this. So some of these integrations are out of box. Some of these integrations are very simply, very less or low to no code integrations. And some of them are basically where we understand your requirements depending on the amount of communication you need to send, and we help you build that solution. So on the right hand side, if you observe, we have three products that are live on customers cloud. And some of these products are Nudge, Monet, and Tilli CX. And very specifically for Nudge, this communication platform is more of a customer driven platform. And the USP that we have for Nudge is a nudge in time saves nine. In fact, that is very true, because we are being proactive than being reactive, right? So if we are proactively nudging and very slightly reminding the customer to make that payment, right? To go and set themselves up for a budget bill plan, to have them being set up on an installment plan, to have their payment terms changed, to have a preference whether when they'll receive an email or they want to actually receive a text, right? All of those small notifications actually make a huge difference when it comes to the uh, at the end of the day, the client balance sheet, right? And we have used these products very successfully in multiple engagements to create a delinquency rate that's less, create situations where the accounts receivable is getting managed more properly, and to help the finance departments be able to collect those receivables also, right? So that is more on the nudge side. Now Monet happens to be our payment gateway, and it works very closely with Nudge. And with Monet, what we've tried to do is we've tried to take care of the one industry challenge that's been there from the get go, and that's been the payment orchestration, right? So not only do we provide a payment gateway, but we are able to use a stored wallet, or we are able to do any other platform, any other payment methods that exist. And it could be your modern payment methods. You want to make a payment using a Google Pay, you want to make a payment using one of your Apple payment wallets. So all of that is basically covered as part of Monet. TeleCX is more of a web-based portal, and what it helps with it helps to give control to the utilities or any other company that implements TeleCX, be on top of their mobile payments and their web payments. All right. So essentially, again, being very specific, we consider ourselves to be somebody who's a guided and a trusted advisor. And in terms of what we can help you with, we can help you with be building a business case that will eventually help you, go to the higher leadership and convince them that this is the right solution. Again, I understand because of budget cuts, there is never a good time to start anything within ERP, right? And we understand that as consultants, we've actually done it so many times that we understand that it's always not in the best interest for the client to, let's say, approve a budget for the next 2 years, the next 5 years, because nobody has seen the future in the next 2 years, 5 years, right? And essentially, we very well understand that. And what we do is we'll create the go to market strategy, we'll create a business case for you by stepping in and helping you create that value proposition in a matter of few weeks. Now, if you want to extend that and want to go to your senior management and say that, hey, how about a proof of concept? Because always the proof is always in the pudding. And I say that because we've been on the client side and we have helped them build POC, and we've won projects as a result of that, simply because now I'm directly integrating with their systems. I'm talking to their backend, I'm talking to the SAP system, and I'm able to get actual data which relates to their system. So when they are looking at the proof of concept, it also helps them in terms of making sure that, oh, yes, it's actually working, and I can see the transactions back and forth. Majority of the times, one of the big reasons why our solution works well, because we are able to closely integrate with ERP, and all of our payment related scenarios are real time posting into SAP or any other ERP, which also helps with making sure that we are on top of the balance sheet, right? In terms of a full rollout or a post migration ERP migration, we are also very much actively involved in that. We have some examples where we can get involved with you if there is a budget, if there is a need, and we can probably do an upgrade for you. We can do an SAP upgrade. We can actually do an S4 HANA upgrade for you. But those projects are certainly long term, from 3 to 6 months, right? So I wanted to just go one step ahead now and talk about what does this mean. So we are basically encouraging customers to think of proof of concept as one way to do cost saving. But what does this finally mean, when it comes to, let's say, a public sector entity? So what I've done is I've pulled an example from one of the clients. And what we did was we implemented their the Tilli CX portal there. We helped them do integration on the SAP side, on the ERP side. We also helped them with their taxes. In general, what we were able to do was, just by doing that, the cost saving came in the form of their call volume started to reduce, their average handling time starting to reduce, right? And these are basically tangible numbers, because if you go to a senior management and say, hey, by the way, we did a project for you, our IT department did it, our digital team did it, and we were able to reduce the call center call volumes by 14%. That's a big number, right? We were able to, let's say, reduce the unpaid bill by just using a multi-channel framework by 19 or 20%. That is a big number, right? We also did campaigns for them, and that increased the adoption rate by 50%. So in total, you can see that this is a very scalable application. We were able to process payments all throughout, and if you see, that's quite a big number, but we were able to do that seamlessly by using our adapters. So this is a good example from not a public sector, but more of private sector, and it basically goes to show as how we are improving the customer's experience by enhancing their communication experience, right? So the way I look at it, and again, just my consulting experience over 2 decades, uh, I have always observed that the customer has to be in the driving seat, right? You have to always put your customer first, right? And when you do that, they are the ones that drive change in the organization. So, what I mean to say is, if your customer is on various platforms, let that be web, let that be your mobile applications, let that be in email, telling you that they would prefer to receive SMSs than actually receive an email, let's assume, then that is the preference that they want, right? So let have the customer dictate that preference. And my solution is to create all channels that helps achieve that. So now if I'm sending an email to the customer and the customer actually prefers to pay by email, that makes it easy for the customer to make payment quickly. So you'll have less of a delinquency rate when it comes to that. We implemented our solution at this specific client also, and we were able to provide cost savings in the form that's been mentioned here in the slide. Again, the call center inbound call volumes reduced. We also helped them with their outbound call center, which was all fully automated, right? So there was no person at all, but recorded message all the way through, helping them achieve their SLAs. And again, these are long term goals that are set by organizations. They are KPIs that are multi-year, and if anything that helps with this improvement gets real good visibility in terms of the senior management in the boardroom. So the way I want you to think about these results, right, because we are delivering these results on a daily basis, is that this consistency, the way we achieve it, is by going and talking to the customer first. And we create these iterative improvements by making sure that we are not disrupting the business, but doing it in a manner that is rolling out to the customers in a phased manner, and it's helping them overall, right, and increase the experience. And we do take feedback seriously also. Thereby, if some of these channels have some feedbacks, we make sure we make changes, and we make sure we improve the customers' lives. Okay. So these are some of my other use cases that we were able to work upon, or we were able to create, and that also helped us with a lot of optimizations at our clients. Right, we've actually worked very closely with the big five companies. Very specifically, we've recently done a big SCW implementation, and it's a product suite. We helped the gas, electric, and water utilities, and we've actually helped them roll out a multi-year project. We've also been involved in two greenfield implementations, again with big five consulting companies, which was related to SEW. There are some other examples. Again, this is on-demand services. So, for example, we were helping the state of Virginia do and disperse funds related to COVID. We were also helping digitally attest with digital attestations. Again, think of it like it is another form of getting a signature or some form of verification from the customer in a digital format, because this is required or mandated by the state, right? So again, if there is any commission, any regulations which is forcing some of these companies to have something implemented, please think of us, because we are going to be able to do this really quickly with minimal disruptions to your business, because we've done this in the past. One of the easy and quick win examples, again from a cost saving perspective, in this era that comes to mind is the personalized QR code. We recently did a project where we were able to convert the paper attestations to web attestations again, and that sort of was all implemented within a month, and that increased the customer adoption also. Okay. So going in that same direction, how is it that we are helping companies? We are keeping our messaging really simple. The number of clicks from a UI perspective is also minimal. We do not want to inconvenience the customer, so you could have a very fast paced scenario where either they receive an email, they receive an SMS, they receive a push notifications, and with their saved wallet they are able to make a payment, right? We are providing flexibility around method of payment also. So you could be making a payment using an Apple Pay, a Google Pay. You could be even using an Alexa for making a payment, right? So just being on top of technology, being on top of what is the latest and greatest in terms of automation, we are able to uh, deliver that value to the customers. Some other examples that come to mind is also we have a code base within the SAP code base. So we have our own code base, and we've been certified for quite some time now. And essentially, we're working on some co-innovation features also that has happened with us, and actually will help the customer at the end of the day. We also send notifications for customers, and that also helps customers be on top of their balances. So in short, I wanted to say that all of this that we've talked about so far are just some mechanism to create a business case, create a value proposition to go in front of the senior leadership to get that approval, and to make sure then we are able to do the projects. But again, if there are any questions or any other challenges, we'd love to hear about them as well. So, Rinki?
Thank you, Shahid. Here in Q&A segment, we'll be addressing a few of the queries coming in now. So here is the first question. Does Tilly provide on-demand consulting help during an existing project or in the middle of the implementation phase?
Okay, Shabir, I'll take that. So essentially, this probably this slide would be a good a use case to sum it up. If you observe, we can come in. If you see it right at the in the on the left hand side, we could either come in for an on-demand consulting, where you would be at any phase of the project. You could be during a UAT, and you found that you have a big gap in terms of from requirement to actual deployment of the application. And during the UAT, you want somebody to jump in, an experienced consultant to come in and help you. We can do that. And that would be on spot, on demand consulting that we can help you with. Or we could just do a complete pilot for you. So we can be present in each and every phase of the project for you and provide you any help you need, any assistance you need to make sure that you have a successful go live.
Yeah. The next question is also somewhat similar. So how do you transition from go live to business handover?
Okay. Shabir, I'll take that again. So essentially, again, this is an important question, and I'm sure, as many of you know, that the challenge is not the business approval that you receive. That hey, yes, it's time for a go live or time for a deployment, but the most important challenge is the cutover, right? So one of the pre-deployment cutover tasks for us is to make sure that we have a clean and a good handover. Yeah. Uh, what we ensure is, or what we try to do is, we try to have a very good training to make sure that the stakeholders, the business, really have a good acceptance criteria in place. So I don't want to just train the business and say that this is a solution that you're going to be using in the future. I want to make sure that there is a business acceptance in terms of adopting that solution, because we could be implementing everything and you're not using it. That does not make sense, right? So from a business value proposition, I make sure that our training is robust and it's up to the mark.
So I think we can take one more question here. Do you use automation for accelerating testing phases?
Okay, I'll take that again, Shabir. So yes, we do use automation. We've used Selenium. We've used HP Quality Center, Worksoft. We so all the common tools that are there with any ERP integration, we are on top of it. But what we've done, based on our experience and based on regular use case that has come within our organization, is we have created a very large set of automation test scripts using JMeter, using other tools, using Selenium. And what we've done is we've actually created lights off testing, which means that you do not really need to do anything, and these automation script will run and will give you the result. And only in case of a fail, you'll basically be notified. So that helps run bigger engagement, where you have interaction between a web application, a mobile application, and an ERP and an SAP application or an Oracle application. And this helps go through transition from one application to another in a more sequential fashion. So yes, we are very experienced in there, and I would love to have a discussion if there is a need be.
Yeah. Thank you, Shahid. Over to you, Shabir.
Thank you, everyone. And this now concludes our webinar. Please do get in touch. We have provided our information. You can also visit our website at tilli.pro, which provides a lot of the information that Shahid had presented today, as well as some of the solutions that we do offer to market. You can also contact us directly into the information section of the contact us page, or you can contact me directly at shabir@tilli.pro, and we're happy to kind of engage on any opportunities. What we would like to do is, as part of any initial discovery call, if there's an interest, whether it's on the consulting side or whether it's on the product side, we'll have a discovery call, get an understanding of the requirements, have a detailed demonstration of our solution or an overview of the consulting engagement that we would provide to you, and then move into next steps and next rounds. So again, thank you for attending this webinar. A recording will be provided at a later date, and please look out for future webinars, which we will be conducting over the next several months. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.